Do you see any economic risks in rolling back these protections?
Yeah, many of our Latino businesses depend on having clean oceans, safe oceans.
This documentary comes with a pledge that they can sign to help us spread the word about the importance of marine protected areas and to essentially, contact their congressman or the representation in Washington. Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Morales. I'm a freelance journalist and meteorologist in Houston, Texas. And on behalf of Sachamama, we want to welcome you to this series of talks about our recent documentary, Healthy Oceans, Strong Communities. We want to expand a little bit of our knowledge on the subject of marine protected areas. It's really, really important, especially these days. And in order to know more about the impact the marine protected areas, the sanctuaries have in the economic activity, we'd like to welcome to this conversation Miguel Ávila, the president of the Greater Santa Barbara Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, who participated in our documentary and who will answer a few more questions about the impact that the nearby marine protected area has in the economic activity in that particular region. So, Miguel, welcome to our talk.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so very much for being here today. We want to just get into the whole issue of the impact. How does a healthy ocean support local and national economies, according to your experience?
Well, 53 years living here in Santa Barbara, and, our economy depends on the ocean. Big part of our economy depends on clean waters, clean oceans, tourism, who comes and spends a lot of money going out in the ocean on tours to look at the whales. There's twice a year that the whales from Canada, from Alaska, travel to the Santa Barbara channels down to Cabo San Lucas to spend the winter. And then they come back to get food back in Canada, back in Alaska. So to spend the summer. So anyway, clean oceans and clean environment and safe is a major part of our economy. So it's something that we depend on, we rely on, and we are constantly protecting at whatever level, whatever it takes. We have oil platforms are in the ocean, and they're constantly being monitored, constantly being watched, that there's no oil spills, that the ocean is protected, all the animals, sea animals are in good environment. So it's something that I'm constantly monitoring as a community leader, as a business leader in our area, because many of our Latino businesses depend on having clean oceans, safe oceans, and good environment.
Yeah, we want to let the folks watching know that this documentary comes with a pledge that they can sign to help us spread the word about the importance of marine protected areas and to essentially, contact their congressman or the representation in Washington to let them know that this is something that they really care about. So somewhere along the screen, you're going to see a QR code that you can take a picture of in order to get to that pledge. So it's really important to, put some action between or behind the knowledge, that we're trying to spread with such a mama as far as, the importance of marine protected areas. Miguel, what do MPAs or the marine protected areas mean, or essentially how they benefit businesses, fishing, and tourism in particular, which is so big in Santa Barbara?
Well, we have a lot of areas that are protected. We have four islands, which by boat, they're 30, 45 minutes away. Uh, those are marine protected areas. Buildings are not allowed. Um, so uh, the word protected areas, especially in our oceans, marine areas, is something that is constantly um, our politicians, our local elected officials are always constantly talking about it, constantly on at the top of the agendas. Uh, it's something that our public, our residents constantly know, and they're very supportive of our areas being protected, especially all those islands. And, just above Santa Barbara, all the way to an area that is called Gaviota, you're talking about a 30-minute drive, 25-minute drive. That It's so incredibly beautiful.
Mhm.
25, 30 years ago, our local governments passed an ordinance that nothing can be built in all that 30-minute corridor, which is right in front of the ocean. So we have elected officials that are constantly protecting our area, making sure that the views, the environment, the economy, everything is protected, and it all has to do with what you're talking about here.
Mhm. Environmental causes these days are a little bit controversial, as you may know. But what is your experience regarding whether there's a conflict between ocean protection and economic growth? Do you see them as an either or proposition, or do you see it as going together, especially in Santa Barbara?
you know uh Historically, because I personally have been kind of involved in our economy and everything that affects positive or negative in our area for 50 years. It used to What I had seen in the past, when we had elected officials at the county level that were, I'm not taking sides or
Hmm.
parties political party preference or anything, but when we had Republicans majority at the county level, it seems like you would see more construction, more building, more oil drilling, more of that. And then when we have Democrats, which tend to protect more the environment, then all these protection, preserving the environment um, ordinances would pass, and
Hmm.
then would stay there, so nobody else, no other political parties could come back later and try to change them. So my opinion here is, and I'm only speaking of what I have noticed in the past. So Santa Barbara County tends to lean more for the Democratic parties because they tend to protect more the environment. Even though we have a lot of conservatives, but all these conservatives that at the national level tend to probably vote more Republican. When it comes to the local level, they tend to vote more Democrat because they live here and they want to make sure that our area is completely, fully protected, our environment, everything that has to do, because they live here, their families, the kids are growing here, and they want to make sure that the air is pure, that the waters are clean. And so, anyway, this is my observation,
Yeah.
being here for over 50 years and being involved, in everything that has to do with anything in Santa Barbara.
So, and I don't see that you see much of a conflict between wanting to grow economically and protecting the area. Um, do you
No,
see any?
I don't see much conflict, because I see that, whether conservatives or non-conservatives, everybody agrees on one thing: protecting our marine oceans, protecting our environment, our making sure that we're breathing clean air. So all of that we tend to agree with.
Just briefly, because this question goes together with that. Do you see any economic risks in rolling back these protections?
Yeah, now with the current administration that we have in Washington, our current president is trying to open up again oil drillings around the coast in the west, in the east, and so we did see some risk, because our county government is kind of trying to fight
Mhm.
those uh, new, you know,
The changes that are
whatever
coming
the
out.
current administration is trying to do.
Yeah. How do
We
you,
see some risk in. Mhm.
moving forward a little bit, how do Latino workers and people in the in commerce, entrepreneurs, fit into the coastal economy story, according to you?
Well, everything has to do with the economy. We currently have a very good percentage of Latino business owners in our central coast area, from let's say Santa Maria all the way down to Carpinteria, which is Santa Barbara County, from one end to the south side to the north side. Um, the percentage is pretty high.
Mhm.
It has grown with the years, and anything that has to do with tourism, protecting tourism, protecting our environment. We live close to Los Angeles, which 15 million people, and whenever there's crisis, economic downfalls or whatever, uh, and 15 million people for some reason are prevented from going around the world, traveling, spending money. What do? Hey, let's go to Santa Barbara. So, it's so important for our local businesses, Latino or non-Latino, because all of them benefit from 15 million people throughout the year coming to spend money and spend a weekend or a week or whatever in Santa Barbara. So um, Latino businesses get a big benefit of protecting our environment.
I think you touched on this a little bit, but if you want to expand, how do MPAs, marine protected areas, contribute to the long-term stability and predictability of the business in the particular Santa Barbara area that you're familiar with?
Well, all these protected areas do impact the economy because, again, we got 15 million people, an hour and a half south of Santa Barbara. There's so much pollution, so much smoke, is so much you know um, going on over there, that all these people, they want to get away from there. And where do they want to go? They want to go to nice clean areas, preserve areas where the ocean is safe, where the ocean is clean, where the air is clean, where they can see a lot of green around them. And that's what we have in Santa Barbara, and that's why it's so important to protect all of that. Because imagine, throughout the year, 15 million people south trying to get away from all the commotion of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
uh, the kind of money that they spend here in our Santa Barbara County, because it's not only Santa Barbara. You go up 30 minutes north, you got wine country, which is like being in France.
Yeah.
Santa Barbara County is the France of the wine country. We have a casino that employs thousands of employees, which anybody that likes that kind of uh, di- uh, way of getting distracted or getting involved in casino, it's
Recreation,
there for those who like that kind of stuff.
of course.
Those who like going out in the ocean, we have that. We have we have an airport that connects pretty much the whole world. You
Yeah.
can go from our airport here all the way nonstop to Atlanta, all the way nonstop to Chicago, nonstop to Seattle, nonstop to Denver, nonstop to Dallas. I mean,
Yeah.
we are connected pretty much all over the world.
I got a
And
couple
then
more
we have a
questions.
train.
Yeah, I got a couple more questions in the couple of minutes that we have left. Um, Having said all of this, what would be your message to a policymaker, a politician, for instance, in Washington, who likes to see conservation just as a cost rather than a benefit, as something that hinders economic activity? What would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them that life is short, and even though we have one of the largest countries in the world as far as territory, we need to protect all of our national parks. We need to protect our rivers, our oceans, our creeks. Uh, there are life. There are communities that depend very much on the safety of the environment, and preventing all these oil drillings, or preventing our national parks to becoming major tourist resorts, and skyscrapers or whatever. We need to protect our green areas and our open areas. So definitely we need to, my advice to all of our politicians nationwide is to please, when you're in Washington, when you're in your state, whatever y- area you're representing, uh, make sure that at the top of your agenda is protecting our environments,
Yeah.
protecting our
Um,
areas.
Indeed, a marine ecosystem that is healthy is critical to supply chains and also to local jobs. As you mentioned, there's so much in Santa Barbara that kind of depends on the marine protected area and the natural environment as a whole. So, Miguel, thank you so much for visiting with us today. We want to invite the folks watching to, follow Sachamama on social media, to click or take a picture of the QR code in order to sign the pledge. You heard the message. It's really important that we get buy-in from local residents, from people inland, from the politicians, in order to, continue preserving the ocean and its resources. So, Miguel, thank you so very much for visiting us today.
My pleasure, and thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
Keep
right.
up the good
So,
work.
indeed, thank you so very much, and I guess we'll see you in the next talk.
Absolutely.